said yes. Well, let's do a plan B. But is sewers okay with you? I'll let us know. I'll take care of it. And then we'll have 3 people. Okay.
Okay, Ernie, you're on. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good to see you all here. Welcome to the service. I'm Andy Pelletier. I've been the cantorial assistant here for a while, a cantorial soloist. Guest rabbi.
I'm Ernie Brookfield, who's doing the service. Well, welcome to the service. This may be one of the last services without a formal rabbi, but we enjoy doing them. I'd like to see everybody here, and it's a beautiful spring day. We begin this service as we join together singing Hene Mantov, and found on page 128 in the prayer book.
Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov La 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 Hine Matov La 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 Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
We welcome the Sabbath with the kindling of the Sabbath lights, and I'd like to invite Sue Hirsch to kindle the lights as we turn in our prayer books to pages 120 and 121.
Could you light the candles? As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold us, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch. Baruch atah Adonai. Oh, okay.
One more. Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'sivanu lehalit ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik shel Shabbat.
We continue now with the Hatzi Kaddish, and we turn to page 145.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemed haba, bi'alma divorach edute v'hamlich machute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayed kol bet Yisrael, b'hagala, u'v'zman kariv, Vehimeru, Amen. Yehi shemed haba v'vorach, le'alam u'lal me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpahar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitatar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemed kudisha b'richu, le'elamin kol berchata v'shirata, tushmechata v'nechemata, na'amiran bi'alma, ve'imeru, Amen.
Please rise for the call to worship on page 146.
Baruch hu atah Adonai, hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, hamevorach, le'olam va'ed.
We read together on the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way which time and season glide. Your breath guides the settled stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As it spans to infinity, set the work of your return. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
And we read responsibly on the bottom of page 151. As wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love?
What could be a truer token of your abiding love?
This. Baruch atah Adonai, Ev Amo Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו נטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם בכל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read together, love your God with every heartbeat, every breath, and every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today.
Teach them
To your children, talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in front of your vision. Do not leave them in the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They're reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt, become your God. I'm Adonai, your God. We read responsively, page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your wisdom of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi chamocha netar. Arba Kodesh, Nodatilot, O Sefele, Nodatilot, O Sefele, Malchutecha, Rahuvanecha, Bokeh Hayam, Nifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli, Zeli, Anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nehemar ki fad Adonai et Yaakov, ugvelo me'ad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Read together at the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us.
Be our shelter from life's storms.
Adonai, help us to walk in good companions, live with hope in our hearts, eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace.
Rise up and do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We rise now for the tefillah on page 164.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftachu Fia Gitilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Holeleha, Ahel Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanonah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh HaKol, Vezocher Chastei Havot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Hezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rav le'choshia, Mechachel chaim b'chesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Sohamech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekahem emunato lishene afar, Bikamocha bar gevulos, Umidu melach, Melech bemit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Venehemarat chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahadalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. We continue responsively on page 173. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from the shunning of horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans.
Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred.
Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears.
Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of the living, and the walls of your temple are not shelters, and the winds of truth, justice, and reality.
Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action.
Adonai, Magadesh HaShabbat. Tamim
We read together on page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks.
Gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within. The world around us so filled with beauty,
For the richness of the earth,
which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks.
Baruch
atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha U'Lacha Na'eh Lehodot. Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Tasim leolam, Tasim leolam, Tasim leolam.
We read together. Grant us peace,
Your
your
most
most precious gift,
O
eternal source of peace.
and give us
Give us
the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
We take a moment now to ask for God's healing for those in our congregation and community suffering from illness. Please feel free to share the name of someone dear to you at this time. We join together now in singing our prayer for healing, the Mishabach, found in the middle of page 371.
Source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We pause now for a moment of silent and prayer. Osei Shalom Bimrumav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen.
Osei Shalom, Shalom Bimramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Me'al Kol Yisrael
I had thought a little bit about doing the Devar Torah, and we're at the helm of a new era with Rabbi Lisa Delson taking over the pulpit in the beginning of July. And this temple is really on a new course, and I wonder what that course is going to be. I am reminded of an old movie called Quo Vadis, and some of you here probably remember it, and some of you have never heard of it. But it was the story of Rome at the beginning of the Christian era. And Quo Vadis means, whither are you going? Where are you going? And the idea of the movie was really, Rome had been the leading nation in the world, that it had a legal system, it had a military power, it instilled government, and suddenly, at this particular period in time, it was challenged to be the world leader. And of course, the movie was really about Nero and all the terrible things that happened in that first and second century. And Rome really didn't go anyplace, it fell. And I would think that where are we going probably pertains to the temple now. We have a new course to follow. I think thanks to Andy, and I think to Jen, and to Lynn, and to all the other people that have contributed, we have managed to do very well. And we have provided the good religious services, we've provided the B'nai Mitzvahs, we've provided the funerals, and we celebrated the holidays. But we're now on a new era, and I had always thought of Shomer as one of the leaders in the Jewish community. And what I think now is that we are at a period of really existential challenge to the Jewish community. There's obviously a significant increase in anti-Semitism. My parents and aunts and uncles grew up in Nazi Germany, and they watched their friends become their enemies, and it was something we would hope would never happen anyplace else. And I'm not sure that will happen in the United States, but there's no question that anti-Semitism has really increased. And Gordon Hirsch and I have always said, well, it can't be your neighbors, they're your friends, but I'm not quite as sure of that as I used to be. So that is an issue that needs to be dealt with, and I think occasionally it can be dealt with from the pulpit to give people a perspective on it. The other major issue that faces us as Jews is Israel. And there's been a very definite change in the attitude of American Jews toward Israel with the rise of the nationalist Orthodox government. And the problems in Israel, particularly on the West Bank, continue to appear in the paper every week. So many Palestinians are shot, so many Israelis are shot, and it comes upon as a sort of a tarnishment of Israel. And there was a time when the Six-Day War occurred that we were so proud of what Israel was doing and what it has accomplished, and it's continued to accomplish it. But the attitude toward the American Jewish community toward Israel has sort of changed, and people have a much more reluctant feeling about Israel with the current findings. And I think that as Jews, we need some help from the pulpit to know what our attitude should be and to keep the loyalty that Israel clearly deserves. The other issues that we face as a community are community participation. We now have a diminishing population of perhaps 2,000, maybe 2,500. We have 3 congregations, and the Shem Tov and the Federation, all representing Israel. And it's hard to get a really solid voice with that much division. And whatever the new rabbi can do and whatever the temple can do, we can probably become a more organized and proud Jewish community. And of course, part of it, right, sits over here with B'nai Israel. Many of our friends belong to that. The services are not that radically different. And we need to represent ourselves as a cohesive community. And the other area that's probably important is Shomer has always been active in community participation. And we are now engaged in some of the habitat, which was very good for building for homes. But I think Shomer needs to be the kind of representation of the Jewish community that people can look at with pride. And when somebody has a big question about a current anti-Semitic episode or a current episode on the West Bank, they can call up our rabbi or call up our clergy and get some opinion from Shomer. So the idea, I think, is where are we going? Can we restore some of the respect and cohesion that we had before all this went on? And as I said, we've done a remarkable job in going through all this and with people helping, but we still got a ways to go. So I would say, Quo Vadis, where are we going? And I hope it goes well. Whoever's a board member, you are. Here are the announcements.
Because our president, Janine, is not here, I will be giving you the announcements. Just like Janine, just like that. So it's mainly about next weekend. On Friday, it's going to be the annual meeting, so that's June 16th. Annual meeting will start at 5:30, and that will be before services, which will follow immediately afterward in the sanctuary. So we're figuring that services will start around 7:30. Then after the service, we're going to have a birthday party for Ivan Berman, and Pam Jackson will be hosting that. RSVP to that event is a must, so please get that in, and you have to RSVP before Tuesday. While you're making your RSVP on Tuesday, you can also make an RSVP for our Sunday plans, which is going to be joining us for cocktails and mocktails. We're going to have a grazing buffet and saying toasts and a Todah Robah to our great interim rabbi, Jamie Gibson. And that's going to be on Sunday, and that will be at 6:30. It's going to be our last opportunity as a congregation to share that evening with him. His wife will be here, Barbara, she'll be here also. So again, call in before Tuesday, 2 RSVPs, one for Ivan's birthday party and one for saying goodbye to Rabbi Gibson. And at that time, we will all get to, don't forget, after services tonight, there will be a kiddush out in the hall where we can meet and greet and say Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Thank you.
And we turn to our concluding prayers as we rise for the Aleinu on the bottom of page 586. we read together on page 589. Let the time not be distant, O God, when we shall turn to you in love. When corruption and evil weigh to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. We which become one in spirit, one in friendship, forever united in your service, and then realm established on earth, in the world of your prophet be fulfilled. Adonai.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and there is no more. In the light we see, in the light we are seen. The flames dance and our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. We think lovingly of the names of the recent deaths, and we also name the art sites. We sanctify the name of God with the words of the Kaddish. The names begin of the art sites are Abel Applebaum, Naomi Barron, Leah Britz, Lisa Chester, Milton Chirosky, Meyer Epstein, Harvey Fain, Dr. Burl Fine, Irvine Frankel, Ruth Levitt Friedman, Dina W. Friedman, Richard Green, Molly Shell Green, Robert Greenwald, William Helburn, Joseph Jacobs, Martha Jacoby, Bernard Kalnitz, Ben R. Lycan, Esther Levi, Art Milstein, Naomi Rappaport, Marilyn Reinstein, Sam Siegel, Gary Sloan, Joanne Stockstiel, Ruth Stoller, Fayette Tolson, Blossom Romanoff Truhaft, Anna von Balen, Robert Wyman, and Marlene Weissman. And the recent deaths, Kathy Schiff, Sissy Weaver, and Ellen Palestine. And we have healing prayers for our friend Judy Hirsch, who is recovering. We rise now and sanctify the name of God with the words of the Kaddish, found in the prayer book on page 598. Yet, Gadam,
ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברח עדותי וימליך מלכותי, בהיכון ובימיכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמרן בעלמא ואמרו אמן יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
And may the source of peace send peace to all those who are bereaved, here and everywhere, as we say,
Amen.
And our final hymn, in Callahanny, on page 626.
En Elohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemalkenu, en Kamoshienu, Michalohenu, Michadonenu, Michamalkenu, Mikamoshienu. Nod el Elohenu, Nod el Adonenu, Nod el Malkeinu, Nod el Moshienu, Baruch Elohenu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
and we'll continue in the hall with the Kiddush. Thank you very much.